Hey, so this is a new video. We're making like a French onion style, like inspired egg drop soup with broccoli. So I just cut up a onion into strips. Now I'm slicing up, I think this is 1.5 serranos. Slicing those into little half moons. Giving them a good little chop. So yeah, I sliced them in half before, and each one of those halves into those little half moves. Then I put it into another bowl. And here's some broccoli. I'm doing about half a head, a little under, like a good handful, one of my hands at least. Slicing those into bite-sized pieces, about the size that I would want on a spoon once they're cooked down a bit. I mean, they're gonna shrink by like 2/3. It's maybe a tablespoon of butter over medium-high heat. I'm gonna let that melt a little bit. I forgot to record it, but I threw all of it into the pan. So I'm just gonna saute it over. I reduced the heat to medium so the butter wouldn't burn. I'm just gonna keep that stirring. Stir, stir, stir. And you just want to let that cook down until like the onions are getting brown, and until they get real sweet. After all, this is French onion inspired, and French onion soup, you caramelize the onions, so I'm trying to replicate a bit of that here. But I'm not trying too hard to get too much color on them, because I am going to add some honey at the end. But I just added a little bit of oil because the butter kind of disappeared. Just keep it stirring. It's about where I want it. So I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of water. I got my spices. Some paprika, about a teaspoon. Some ginger, some black pepper, some cinnamon, all like maybe 1/4 teaspoon. Then that's my 1/2 cup of water, and then that's my secret ingredient, some Knorr stock concentrate, beef stock. Gives a lot of flavor and umami. It's very salty, so I'm not going to add any more salt until I taste. Add a little bit more in there because I am going to dilute it with some rice and some egg. So I want it to be a little bit too salty. Just put some honey in there. Summon forth the upside down bear. Here's my cat. I thought this was cute. He didn't want to go outside. He has trouble fitting through the gates. So
What? No. Don't make
so
fun
here
of
I'm
me.
just slicing up some serranos,
You're
a whole
making fun of
serrano
me.
this time, because I'm going to use it as a garnish.
That's
And
mean.
don't do what I'm doing. I couldn't cut them very thin with that knife. Not as thinly as I wanted them, so I swapped over to my big knife. Cut those into small circles, just for some garnish. Then I'm using 3 eggs here. These are large eggs. 3 whole eggs. Beat them up until they're very well combined. I beat mine for about a minute, and I know it seems like just seconds here, but I gave them like a good 45 seconds to a minute. I took it off the heat, and now I'm stirring it in very quickly, just to set the eggs, and then I put it over high heat to like make sure that it's actually cooked. So here I'm plating it, a little bowl. I scoop my rice into it, put it in the middle just to make it look pretty. Then I poured the soup around it. I put my sliced peppers on there, and then a little pinch of some parsley. And that's about it. My cat really The cat thought it smelled good. And she wanted to dance all over the table. But yeah. It's looking beautiful.
Not a bad deal.
How much were they?
20, so you pay what, $100 for fully automatic, right?
Yeah, about $100 back then was probably like,
Makes real money.
I would say probably like over $1,000.
Now a good semi-automatic, 8 costs about $800-900.
That doesn't sound like too bad.
Yeah, no, it does. I would like to have one somewhere.
I'm not surprised.
It's not fully auto,
I know. You can't buy those.
but they're pretty easily
The AKs?
they're pretty easily modified where they are fully auto. Oh, I shouldn't be fucking with your food video talking about AKs.
Man, I'm gonna voice over it. Anyway.
You're gonna voice over it? That's no fun. What the fuck?
Well, I can keep this in.
Yeah, you probably should. AKs are way more fun than food.
Debatable.